Hi there, welcome to another review of our machine gun core postcards. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to share with you our new logo to help commemorate and remind people that there is this programme of events happening this year to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the disbandment of the machine gun corps, but also the 100 years legacy of machine gunnery that's given us as well. So we've captured both of those things in this logo that's been put together by Matt Yates, our director, and we're really pleased. You'll see this appear on all of the things that are happening as we put together this year of commemorations. You'll start to see it appear around the place, which is great. Hopefully it'll pull those things together. And we also have a version that has our logo on the Vickers MG Collection and Research Association logo on the right hand side, and or the left hand side if you're the logo, but on the right hand side. And we hope that will be joined by all of our partner organisations throughout the year, adding additional logos to the events that they're involved in. Thank you for your continued engagement with these, and hopefully you're enjoying the photos that we're sharing so far. Nothing really picked up last week. There's one in a moment we'll mention, but thank you for your likes and shares and all that sort of thing. Some of these are getting great traction in helping to remind people that the Machine Gun Corps did exist for those 7 years and was disbanded 100 years ago. So daily repetitiveness, daily posts of these new to market or new to the public photos we're really appreciative of. What we did find, I think coming up in a moment, is we had the suggestion that this photo here, rather than Middle East with the field service cap with the machine gun corps cap badge, was in fact India, rather than that Middle East on the back there. So thanks to David again for that, and thanks to all our patrons for their continued support. Please do sign up to support us in our activities and what we do. I have to say, this is one of my favourite photographs that we've seen so far, one of my favourite postcards. I don't really know why. There's just something about, it's obviously a whole section, the 4 guns of machine gunners. They're all in steel helmets, which makes it look a little bit different to many of them. There's a real mix of, I think it's probably the closeness. This isn't like a really well spread out photo. The gun, you can see that the tripod legs are overlapping here. They're trying to cram this into a really small photograph, which I think is just quite nice. It's something that just brings together sort of the informality. It's also a good mixture of equipment. So of all the men, we've obviously got the steel helmets, as I mentioned, and then we've got some with 1908 pattern equipment in here. Look, the rifle equipment. We've got some with 1914 pattern equipment in there. Looks like this one's 1914 pattern rifle pouch with the pistol case. So it's just this nice mix of bits and pieces. Informality. There's really guys that have lived together, comfortable. Obviously there's some you've got hands on the shoulders, hands on the legs, that sort of stuff. They're comfortable, which I just quite like. So information about what we're seeing. So you can just see the Lance Corporal chevron on this chap, but with the Skillet Arms badge above, which is quite nice. So we see that a little bit. The origins are normally of an instructor, or and we see it there as well. But at the same time, we've also seen it referred to as that's just where NCOs wore their Skillet Arms badges. So certainly in this case, this is not a training scenario. These are not instructors. These are the sergeants or the lance corporals of the machine gun unit, the corporals. So of the company, or of the section. Sorry, of the section. So they're clearly not instructors. We've got the 2 officers sat there as well, the 2 section officers. So one with shoulder rank, one with cuff rank, which we've seen in a few different photos now. Then we've got, I think that's we've got some open collars, like that, and then we've got or open, the bottom of the collar is not joined, and then we've got it like clasped together there, which is nice and smart, and something it's quite nice to see. The guns themselves, we've got 4 early fluted casing barrel casings. We've got Mark 1 tangent sights and Mark 1 muzzle cones on them all. We've got auxiliary tripods, the Sangster mounts on them all, and we can see the strap of that fitted round there. And that's quite interesting because sometimes, that length of that strap keeps it out of the way, and makes it easily to use as a handle. We've got number 3 belt boxes, with number 3 Mark 2s probably with that single opening lid on all of them. We have got bullets in the belt, so it indicates that this was probably done in France. This is an overseas photo if we've got bullets in belts or bullets in the whole of the belt normally. And that's sort of it. There's nothing new to say there, but it is quite a nice photo. So from the front of it, we certainly can't identify the unit though, so we'll have a look at the back. Thankfully, there is some information on the back and some information that corresponds with Graham's database as well. So we've got 2334 Private C.E. Hornby attached to 49th Divs, Baths, France. So that might be who it's addressed to, but not really sure. So it says, "Dear friend, just a line to something you are quite well. I am sorry to hear you are leaving, but I may come across you when I come home, hoping it won't be long. We are having lovely weather, hoping to have a line any time." Line? Maybe not. Cine, I'm not sure. "Can you pick me out? This was taken at the end of June, just before the push, of course. They are not all here now." So that's really interesting, isn't it? Obviously, quite a few people in the photo have been lost. So at the end of June, so this could be a Somme, ahead of the Somme. 1st of July 1916. There's nothing. Is there no date? There's no date on this, so it could be. Let's have a look. Let's have a look to see what the additional information that Graham found was. So 2334 Charles Edward Hornby enlisted the 4th West Riding Regiment as 2334. He went to France and Flanders on the 15th of April 1915 and transferred to the Machine Gun Corps in the field to 147 Company, part of 49 Div. Probably wounded or sick and struck off strength of the company at some point. Later posted to 57 Battalion, but then wounded by gas on the 9th of August 1918 and invalided. Discharged, disembodied on the 26th of February 1919. So he's obviously served. This does say number one section machine gun section 147 Brigade. What's interesting is the way the postcard's written though, because it seems to be written as this might be the recipient rather than the writer. So it's obviously kind regards. Not really. Is that from him? We might have scanned this too short. Actually, it looks like there might be a bit missing. So I might have to have a look at the original and see whether there's any more on that. But anyway, so we can do what we can with it at the moment. But 147 Brigade, 147 Machine Gun Company, really sort of quite an emotive phrase there, that they're not all here now. This is an interesting one, isn't it? Bicycle, probably, I don't know, somebody will tell me, but it's probably a Mark IV general service bicycle or in that. But it's he's wearing a tam o' shanter, with the Machine Gun Corps cap badge on a piece of tartan. The MGC letters look to be a bit splayed there, like almost like shoulder titles are curved a little bit, so possibly, or it might just be they've been worn a little bit. But then we've got the thistle on a piece of tartan there as well. So I think that's some of the 51st Battalion, if I remember rightly. So 51st Division Machine Gun Corps. So we've got D Company, Quartermaster Stores, no admittance unless on business. I'm gonna guess, and so he's wearing 1908 pattern bow, service dress, on his bicycle, quite smartly attired. I'm gonna guess that this is a post-war photo, possibly in Germany. But it's quite a nice photograph. Really crisp signage, nice sort of portrait photo of this chap. Sadly, there's nothing on the reverse to help us, though. That's a shame, isn't it? It would be nice if there was just a little snippet of information there that we could build on. sadly not. There is plenty to talk about in this photo, though. So another great sort of group photo. These are really outstanding in terms of quality and detail and the variation that you get. The majority of them are in 1914 pattern equipment with their rifle pouches, and a few have their pistols in cases. I can't see any 1908 pattern equipment. We've got 4 officers in this photo, which is interesting. So we've only got 4 guns, so this should be the section, but it looks like that this chap here is a captain, so he might be, maybe we've got have we got a major in here as well? Can't see, so we've got shoulder rank rather than cuff rank on all the other chaps. So maybe we've got a major and a captain from the company sat in with one of the sections. This one shows the guy sat behind the range taker has a pistol case as well, which is quite nice. We know range takers were one of those that were at the start of the war allowed to carry revolvers and pistols, but by sort of mid-war they're back to rifles, which is interesting. Shame about this chap cut out. Hopefully it wasn't something he sent home. It looks like the photo's been taken really off centre because we've got these 4 guns just all to the left, haven't we? So that's quite interesting. And then over on this side we've got the chap sat down there, all wearing MGC shoulder titles, MGC cap badges and collar badges on the officers. The guns themselves are nothing outstanding. Mark 1 direction dial, Mark 1 elevating wheel, Mark 1 muzzle cone, auxiliary tripods, Mark 1 tangent sight slide, and looks to be single arch top cover and slab sided guns. So yeah, 1916, 1917 dated. Can't see anything particularly early about anything. Many of them have got these straps, which is great to see. Something we don't see often enough on guns in collections and stuff now. Well, we don't see the auxiliary tripods, other than if you come and visit us, then you'll see them. But in certainly most First World War guns do not have that. The very vast majority. Yeah, so we've got a wound stripe on this chap here. So maybe he's seen, he obviously has seen some service already. I can't see. Looks like we might have a decoration there. Can't see the colouring well enough, but it might be sort of meritorious service medal just from my guess. So we've got a couple of veterans in here. My initial thought was it would be a UK photo, so maybe they've come back to Grantham, back to Belton Park for some training at the machine gun school or the machine gun training centre. But maybe it's in France and they're just particularly smartly attired. This just doesn't shout France at me. Maybe those 1 or 2 are veterans. We've got 2 wound stripes on this chap here, I think. So yeah, there's a nice mix of stuff there, but not sort of 1915, 1916. This guy looks quite old, doesn't he? You compare that face there with that face next to him, certainly some age difference in those 2. So yeah, another sort of nice unit photo. Be great to match more and more of these up with the units they're from. But on the reverse of this one, there is a bit of a scribble. Pick 3 at end. Not really sure what that means. It might be just collectors scribble on the back there. Yeah, sadly we can't match this one to a unit. So this one just is Motor Machine Gun Corps. Just shouts it, doesn't it? If you've watched these so far, it just absolutely shouts Motor Machine Gun Corps. We've got the goggles up here. We've got 1903 pattern equipment, pistol case, ammunition case there. Water bottle done nice and tight up round his shoulders so that nothing is below that waistline. And this seems to be the haversack as well, with the strap of the haversack. And I spoke to Toby and Giles about this. We were looking in some detail at it when they were visiting on one of the working days. Hopefully I'll get them on to do these recordings with me at some point. But we were looking at this, and we think that the strap of an 08 brace strap has been put on here too, and they've been overlapped so that there's some adjustment, but he's got it on the 2 buckles there so that it can be done really quite tight up under the arm. and through the shoulder strap there, so that you've got it nice and tight up up to support you. You can just see the end of the revolver going through there. Can't quite work out what the revolver type is, but we've got his lanyard nice and tight around his neck, holding that revolver in there. Then we've got the leather leggings that we've now sort of become used to seeing with the motorcyclists. You can just see some lettering here. Yours sincerely, and I couldn't read this. It's F-A when, not really sure, F-A-W-E something. So I'll try and find out more on that actually, and see if we can work out who it is from the initials and the motor machine gun service. Sadly, they're not named on the back, but the fact that we've got the photographer here, H.O. Guire Gibbs, photographer to the Brigadier Guards, Purbright. Purbright's obviously next door to Bisley. We know that Bisley is the training centre for the motor machine gun service, so it just reconfirms what we already knew, really, but it's nice to have that confirmed with a little bit more evidence. This is an interesting one, because I'm not sure it's 100% machine gun corps. This could be interwar. But we have got the Mark 1 direction dial and the Mark 1 elevating wheel, so it's probably wartime, sort of. Yeah, before the Mark 2 is introduced widely in 1919-20. So yeah, probably machine gun corps looking at that. We've then got this sign saying, lest we forget, 30 for 1 bullet. So not really sure what that means. 30 for 1, and it looks like bullet is in sort of single quotation marks there, and it's on this weird triangle thing. Not really sure what that is, but we've got 2 flags. Now those 2 flags look to me, somebody might be able to tell me more, they look to me to be signalling flags rather than unit flags. Or so I don't, I might be completely wrong, and somebody will immediately identify those as unit identifier marks. Please do tell me, leave a comment, message me, whatever, because that would be really interesting information. Adding it might well help us identify a unit. We've got men in their shirt sleeves and their pith helmets. So, clearly this is Middle East or India. I'm going to guess Middle East again, it could be India. So, nothing more to tell us about any of them, no. And then the gun itself, it's a stand. Looks to be like there could be the Mark II muzzle cone there, so it might be coming out forward a little bit, which would date it that little bit later again, so 1919, 1920. If it's India, we might not get the Mark II kit out there for these as early as that. So maybe it is sort of into the 20s a little bit. Doesn't mean it's not machine gun corps. Obviously, the machine gun corps didn't disband until 1922, which is why this year is the 100th anniversary. But yeah, quite a nice little photo in front of a door on a wall somewhere. No information on the back other than carte postale being French. Address, maybe it's North Africa, Egypt, could be. But yeah, Middle East, that sort of area also has French as the second language for many of those countries. So this is an interesting photo, because at first glance I thought this was a woman. There's just something about the facial features and the very small hands that make me think it's a woman. There could even be possibly a ring on one of these fingers. Now, we've seen quite a few photos where women are dressed up in their husbands' uniforms, and I think this could be one of those. The only thing that sort of makes me doubt that is the way these puttees are actually done up quite well. So I think her husband has probably put them on, but and the date puts me off as well. So it says 24th of the 6th, 1915. So June 1915. I'm not sure that can even be correct, because we've got machine gun corps cap badge there, which doesn't exist for another 4 months. So not sure where that comes from. Maybe it's 1916, but that isn't 1916. That they mean 15 there. So not sure what that is. Maybe they just got the year wrong. Maybe it's a reference number that happens to be a date. So it couldn't be that early, but it is interesting. We've got swagger stick or cane, and bandolier to indicate a driver, or motor machine gun corps cavalry branch. Cigarette in hand, spurs on there, and puttees done up the wrong way round, so it's obviously a mounted individual. We haven't got breeches. It looks just to be like infantry trousers, so, or service dress trousers. So highly probably a driver with the machine gun corps infantry rather than the machine gun corps cavalry. If you just notice as well, I don't know if it seems to be a button. So this little loop here to keep the bandolier in place to stop it from going round. Never noticed that before, and I'm not sure I've noticed that on. We don't have an original of these in the collection. Don't have a reproduction either. So maybe that is just normal. But yeah. Other things, that collar looks a bit big for this to be this person's uniform. So I think that's a woman dressed in her husband's or partner's clothing, or we have a Blackadder Bob moment, and it is a woman dressed as a man. So yeah, maybe it's Bob. Nothing to tell us anything more other than it's a UK photograph. So yeah, can't help with any more information on the back, sadly. Now this is our first motorcycle combination photo, I think. So we have Motor Machine Gun Corps M. So this is Machine Gun Corps Motors proper. We also on this chap have the MGCM, but with the Motor Machine Gun's shoulder title underneath sewn on as well. So double bubble on there. I think he's got it as well. We could just see it. Wound stripe on him. Standard Machine Gun Corps cap badge without the MMG underneath. So that's quite interesting. We've got a bit of a lightened gun with single arch top cover, Mark 1 tangent sight, slide, leather strap around the back there, Mark 1 elevating wheel and Mark 1 direction dial, and a Mark 1 armoured cone with a fluted barrel casing. So all looks to be sort of 16, 17 dated gun, 17, 18 maybe on the gun. DN1303 is the registration mark or the census mark of the motorcycle. I'm not a motorcycle expert. I can't tell you what type of motorcycle this is. Could be a Clino, could be a matchless. I think it's a Clino from what I'm looking at, but that's just like best guess memory. You can just see though that he's obviously got the gun on the tripod, and that's how it fits. You can see this detail really quite nicely, how it fits into the sockets back here. The three legs go backwards. You can also turn it around, and then this would be the ammunition bracket, belt box carrier for if he was firing it to the rear as well. And then you have additional boxes of ammunition normally loaded up on this, and you have a third. So I think it was 2 guns and then 1 ammunition motorcycle combination. So it would just carry more ammunition. It might be 1 and 1. I think that varies. We do have a parts list, photo parts list for motor machine gun combinations Mark IV, which shows all of the information, all of the different parts that are carried on these, including all different mountings and everything. But we've got 1908 pattern belts, not yet on both of them. That looks to be the, I might be wrong, but there looks to be a little tab there. You can see that, and I think that means it's the proper belt for brace attachments. Oh no, that's just, sorry, that bit there is just the hook on his belt, but I could just see this, whether that's stitching behind that is got the buckle on the inside for the brace attachments belt. Can't see it on this one in the same way. And actually what you can see is this is the belt bit looped back up through. That doesn't seem to have that, so I think that might be a difference. I'm not sure. Somebody would have to tell me. So yeah, nice to see the actual motorcycle in use. And then on the reverse, we actually have the identification of the guy seated with the gun as 153744 Arthur Johnson, Motor Machine Gun Service. And we've got he enlisted as 7376 in an unknown battalion of the Lincolnshire Regiment, compulsorily transferred Machine Gun Corps on or about 25th of the 4th, 1918, probably to an infantry battalion, but medal roll show him as gunner, MGC Motors, therefore probably transferred in the field. Nothing else known, discharged 13th of May 1919. So So actually this is a 1918 photo, and quite a late one, and he's transferred. So the way we've worked this is I gave Graham the details without, so the information off the back of the postcard without a copy of the postcard. So, and I didn't say MMGS, I don't think. I can't quite remember. So, he's identified that. I did say MMGS. So that sort of starts to answer, a little bit. So we've got him as Gunner Arthur Johnson, and from Lincolnshire Regiment into the MGC, 25th of April 1918. Here's that logo again to remind you to keep watching and keep aware of what we're planning in 2022. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. Please support us on Patreon if you're able to, and let us know of anything you'd like to see in the future. I look forward to hearing from you.